güzel şeyler sanmayıcılar. Meydan sanat yoluna hala aşağı Ömer Bey, ödülleri vermek için kabul alabilir miyiz lütfen? What are your thoughts?
West Harbour versus Burnley. You want to do that? Yeah, okay, cool. Too easy. Have you got a team? Have you got a team list?
Thank
So welcome back here to Lidcombe Oval. We've got the first of the men's finals. We've got the spoon final is taking place here between the Campbelltown Harlequins and Northern Suburbs. So let's see who comes out on top here. Harlequins were really embarrassed in their last round, losing 54-5. And Norse have been good in patches, but haven't been consistent enough to really trouble the better sides in this competition. We'll have a chance to take out the spoon title here if they can do that. And they're on attack just at the 22 of the Harlequins end of the ground. At the breakdown, they spin the ball back to the centre here to Radford. Radford with a long cut-out pass. He finds Gary Bouts there, who's got a bit of room to manoeuvre, and Bouts is racing away. And he will score the first try of this game. Tries to improve the angle a little bit, runs in and scores about 15 metres in from touch. And they get the first try. So Norse leading by 5 points to 0. And Gary Bouts, that's been probably one of their most integral attacking weapons, is able to score that first try. And so the conversion no good, so 5-0. But North starting out the way they would have wanted when they were chatting pre-game. Can't afford to take a side like Harlequins lightly, even despite the, I guess, not performing as well as they would have liked in this tournament. As they drive a kick forward, the race might be run here by Radford. It is, and he'll fall on the ball and he'll fall under the sticks. So it's been a good little passage of play here from Northern Suburbs, who have been able to score 2 tries to go out by 12 points to 0. A nice chip and chase over the top, and just too much speed there by the little man Jack Radford to get there first and score the try. So unfortunately, the form line is continuing here for the Campbelltown Harlequins. They trail by 12 points to 0 to a fired-up Northern Suburbs side that is hoping to try and get some success from this Western Sydney Sevens tournament. A line drive dropout there as it's fielded on the 22 here. As Saar with a long cut-out pass, he finds support in one of his fellow big runners there in Tuig Marfa, but it looks like there might be a little error here that is going against this Harlequin side, and so they cough up possession. Northern Suburbs will be able to pack this scrum down 35 metres out. Still very, very warm conditions here at Lidcombe. There was rain rumoured to be around, but that looks to have blown off. There is some dark storm clouds across the eastern side of the ground, but certainly doesn't look like it's going to affect play here. So still about 30-31 degrees down on ground level, so it's quite warm indeed for the players out players out in the middle. Imagine that fatigue certainly has becomes a factor, and well, talk about fatigue. Harlequins never got numbers there as Northern Suburbs just sliced their way through, and they managed to score under the post. So easy done there as the north side pick up their third try, courtesy of their number 2, Mitch McGrath. But he hits the upright with his conversion attempt, so haven't been able to sink as many goals as they would have liked. But regardless, 17 points to 0. Northern Suburbs lead Harlequins. So penalty here for Harlequins right in the middle of the park. Let's see what they can do. They really have not had any possession in this game whatsoever. I think this is only the second use of the football they've had. As Elijah Saar, the captain, charges within 40 of the goal line, but again another costly turnover. And now Norse find their way through, and again breaking downfield. Easily done here is Hugh Taylor. He's tripped up from behind. Some good cover defence by Harlequins. And it now comes out to Radford with a long cutout pass. Quick hands once more. Down that right edge they go. And this is Nathan Russell, who's going to streak away easily and score another try for Northern Suburbs. He scored a try in that last start loss, and he's been able to get another meat pie here. He's ambles around and plants it down under the stick, so 22 points to nil to Northern Suburbs. And then he's able to knock over the conversion Russell as well. So 4 tries for this Northern Suburbs side, 2 conversions from 4. They lead by 24 points to nil. And Harlequins just do not look in the ball game at all, much like most of today and most of yesterday. Just don't have the cattle to compete with some of these other 7 sides. So they drive this one. This one is going to bounce just inside the field of play and dribble out at the 22, and that is half-time called by the referee. So 7 minutes down, 7 minutes to go. It's been a confidence-boosting first half here by Northern Suburbs, leading by 24 points to nil, 4 tries for them and 2 goals. And haven't really given Harlequins much of a look in. They've touched the ball on 3 occasions and have 3 turnovers, which have led to 3 Northern Suburbs tries. And I guess Northern Suburbs may be looking back on this and thinking a lot of what ifs, if they could have performed like this in the first couple of round robin games, and then even in the quarterfinals where they had their noses in that game, and even in the most recent bowl playoff that they competed in. But not to be, but I guess better late than never. They've put in a really good shift here in this first half, leading by 24 points to nil. So this spoon final is halfway done. Then after that we have the bowl final, which is the West Coast Drifters against West Harbour. And then later this afternoon, the plate final, First Nations against the Western Sydney Two Blues. And the cup final later this afternoon, the big one, Tamadamu versus Nabua, the 2 Islander sides that have been the most enterprising, exciting to watch over these last 2 days. But after these upcoming two men's games, a spoon final, which is almost done here, and the bowl final at 3:20, we have the first women's semi-final, and 3:40 the second women's semi-final. So still plenty of rugby sevens left in this, as it goes all the way back here to Jack Radford, who is up over the 40-metre line and spins the ball back on the inside. So nice passage to play here by Northern Suburbs, who almost find their way through the defensive line of the Harlequin side. Out of acting half they go back to Radford, who wants a bit of support, trying to find some holes out on that right-hand edge. Can't do so. They just keep throwing the ball around. Here's Lokatui. Lokatui breaking a few tackles, getting up towards the halfway line, but collared from behind by the Harlequin side. But it is a penalty. Infringement in the ruck as Radford taps and goes and beats the first enclave of defenders, where he's put down 38 metres away from the Harlequins goal line. Down the right-hand side they go. There's an option here if they can keep the ball alive. That's exactly what they do, and they'll go through and score an easy try. Seb Cameron out there on the far side that will get through and score the 5th try for Northern Suburbs, 29 points to nil. And that was a little bit too easy, just a quick shift to the right-hand side and dragging defenders out of position. The conversion attempt from out wide, no good, so it's across the face of goal. 5 tries and 2 goals for the Shoremen as they lead by 29 points to nil. So it bounces up awkwardly initially there as it's taken forward by Elijah Sarr. Good driving strength shown there by the Harlequin side, and probably haven't used their big boppers in the middle of the field quite enough to really trouble North as they trample over a couple of Northern Suburbs defenders. Now this is the style of rugby I thought they would have liked to play, use those big men, but I guess fatigue's also been a factor as well, as Sarr with the outside of the boot grubbers through, but it's comfortably covered there as it goes back to Jack Radford, 35 out from his own line. Radford looking for support, long cutout pass. Finds the support there of the 14, and he goes straight through for North. That's Tom Gilbert, and Gilbert has to put the afterburners on a little bit. Almost gets caught here, and thankfully if he managed to get down and score out wide, but that was, a little bit cocky there by the 14 from Northern Suburbs. Slowed right up, and it almost paid dividends, but thankfully for him and for North, he managed to get over the line. 34 points to nil. Northern Suburbs lead the Campbelltown Harlequins. Conversion here for Gilbert, the try scorer. Strikes it, and it's right over the black dot. So 2 more points to the total. Northern Suburbs 36, Campbelltown Harlequins nil. A few substitutions made by both sides. Very, very hot out in the middle. As it's driven towards touch and goes into touch around about the 22-yard line, or 22-metre line, pardon me, of the Harlequins end of the half. So Northern Suburbs 36, Campbelltown Harlequins nil. North have the ball back through Radford. Not a great pass, but well picked up. And now finds some room on the outside through Woods, and Woods fires on the outside there to one of his support players. He's able to cross over rather comfortably. Max Burry, I believe it is, that surrounds and under the posts. And then he gets this one as it clips off the crossbar and goes over. And so Northern Suburbs extend their lead 43 points to nil. Easy stuff for the Shoremen, who are taking out this Spoon final in resounding fashion. As they drive the ball deep, it's marked by Harlequins. They go up through the guts of the field, and it's a good, strong carry as one of their big forwards gets within 5 of the halfway line. Still going. Good, strong offensive play here by Campbelltown as they throw the ball around. Time gradually winding down. Not long left in this one. And it will be a penalty here to the Campbelltown side as a high shot is the call from the referee. And so Grubber through there by Radford, and he might have the pace to get him behind. He does. He scoops up the ball, but he's got good defence. But he gets a lovely offload back on the inside there to Josh Roberts backing up. And Roberts scores under the post. 48 points to nil. And Roberts has a chance to bring up the half century here for the Shoremen. From directly in front. Curls this one right over the black dot. And that is full time. A resounding win for the Northern Suburbs boys, and in this Spoon final playoff, they've beaten the Campbelltown Harlequins by the tune of 50 points to nil. And so the Harlequins go home a little bit disappointed with some of the performances they put forward, but Northern Suburbs really fired up in this final and just had too much firepower for the Harlequins. They've shown fight throughout the whole tournament. So full time, North 50 beat Harlequins nil. Don't go anywhere though, because we're pretty much ready for the bowl final between the West Coast Drifters and West Harbour. So these were the two sides that made it to the semi-final, but then were losers of their respective semi-finals. almost time for the next semi-final that we have, or the next final, which is the bowl final between the West Coast Drifters and West Harbour. Both sides making their way out into the middle. West Harbour already out there. Probably one of the strongest sides in the competition, West Harbour, so deserved favourites going into this game. It looks like the Western Sydney Two Blues is the side that they're playing. My mistake, it actually is West Harbour against the Two Blues in this bowl final. And First Nations taking on the Drifters in that plate final. As play gets underway, and it will be the Two Blues that will start with the football. And we have a try straight away, so great work here by West Harbour, making the best possible start they can to this bowl final, scoring first up points. They lead by 5 points to 0. Both these sides have had contrasting performances in this competition. The Two Blues winning one of their 3 poor matches, and then unable to get it going in the quarter and semi-finals. Beaten in their quarter-final matchup. As this ball swirls around and sneaks its way in. A beautiful strike from out wide, so perfect start by West Harbour. They lead 7 points to 0 over the Western Sydney Two Blues. So I guess you can see these are the 2 minor finals, if you like. The sides in the losers side of the draw. That's scooped up here by West Harbour. The referee's going to say no. He's going to give the ball back to the Two Blues and say there's a knock on there. So Two Blues get their first use of the football here this afternoon. So West Harbour have the ball back, and they hesitate about what they're going to do with it as they flick the ball back into Apasonli Berra. Berra loses the ball sideways. Referee said it went back, and the Two Blues are able to scoop upon it and take it away through Dietrich Roach, who's dancing his way through the West Harbour defence. A looping like pass, which is towed ahead there by Norman Latu, but it's going to beat everyone into touch about 30 metres away from the West Harbour try line. And half break taken forward there by West Harbour up towards the halfway line. At the back they go there from Fleming, who finds an outside runner, and they look to spread the ball across the back line. They've certainly got some potent weapons, West Harbour, and they break their way through now. He comes to the fullback, and the ball player manages to step around him inside the 22. He's got defenders coming in at him, and he's able to launch himself over the try line and put it down. So a second try here for West Harbour. They go out by 12 points to 0. Get their second try of the afternoon and put themselves in a very strong position in this this bowl final. It's part of the Western Sydney Sevens Diggers Cup action here at Lidcombe Oval. Conversion about 20 metres out, 15 metres in, strikes it towards the uprights. No good though, so they miss out on a gift 2 points there, and it stays West Harbour 12, the Western Sydney 2 Blues 0. So the 2 Blues now in possession, need to try and start to use the football to their advantage, because at the moment they are on the back foot, down by 12 points to 0. Can't afford to concede any more points in this half, as we see a nice run down here, forward here by the 2 Blues. It was Nick Benn who started a chip over the top. It's been regathered there by Dietrich Roach, and Roach is able to turn the defender inside out, and he'll be able to dive next to the post. That's a really good, smart 7th try from the 2 Blues, all set up there by Nick Benn and finished off by Dietrich Roach next to the sticks. It reduced the margin to 12 points to 5. And the Roach with the conversion from almost directly in front. Left foot strikes it over the black dot. Gets them back within 5, so inching towards half time. It's West Harbour 12, Western Sydney 2 Blues 7. Two Blues gets back underway, and it travels just the required 10 metres, and it's marked and taken away here by Luggy. Luggy, he runs back infield, throws a basketball-like pass there to Fleming. In fact, it was Nasina who threw the ball back into Fleming on the inside, and they've got the two Blues a little bit short on this right-hand side. If they go that way, they do, but good scrambling defence so far from the 2 Blues is keeping West Harbour at bay, and now they go from right to left, back on the inside. Nice run by Apasolme Berra, and Berra's going to do enough to get over the line and score. Just as the 2 Blues are able to get back in the game, we see West Harbour show their attacking intent. They score their 3rd try and extend the lead out to 17 points to 7 with a kick to come. The conversion is a pretty easy one, as it's banged over the black dot. Half time as well, but it's certainly West Harbour's game to lose from here in this bowl final. They've scored 3 tries to 1 to lead by 19 points to 7 over the Western Sydney 2 Blues. We'll take a quick break and bring you all the action in the second half in a couple of minutes' time. Back here at Lidcombe Oval for the second half of this bowl final between the Western Sydney 2 Blues and North Harbour. North Harbour leading by 19 points to 7, on the cusp of taking out the bowl title in the Western Sydney Sevens here at Lidcombe Oval. As you probably see by some of our camera shots, the floodlights are on here at Lidcombe Oval, and there's some very dark and ominous storm clouds that have swept across southwest Sydney here this afternoon. There was talk of a big downpour and thunderstorms perhaps around 1, 2 o'clock, but they seem to be pushed away and the sun came out, but it's starting to look quite average on the horizon at the moment. So hopefully the rain doesn't have too much of an impact on these games, and we've got 7 minutes left in this bowl final. And the Western Sydney Two Blues bring it back. They trail by 12 points. They need something special. They're going to be getting us back underway via this kickoff. And they go deep as it's marked comfortably, and now West Harbour charge back into the defence and almost get back to the 40-metre line. Stolen by the Western Sydney Two Blues, but the referee has found an infringement in there, so it will be a penalty here to West Harbour. We've got a player down who's picked up a bit of an injury. I think that is a West Harbour player on the ground. He seems to be okay. Maybe just copped a bit of a knock to the neck or shoulder. As they drive the kick deep inside Western Two Blues territory, 40 metres out in fact. Dion Spice with a long line at it. It was well taken. Then it's basketball passed back here to the West Harbour side as they're inside their own half. And now they try and put the afterburners on and try and spread this defensive line. Good pass to players. They keep the ball alive as they loom around the 22 of the Two Blues. Running around in circles they are. They're eventually put down 24 metres away. Spice is in there making directions as the ball's flung out the back and will find its way to Joshua Patera, who goes all the way back inside his own half. They are really not doing anything. It's almost like they're statues at the moment. This West Harbour side is happy to protect this 12-point lead as they throw a couple of dummies, and here's Dion Spice. He goes all the way back. So they've gone from 22 metres out at the Two Blues end of the ground to be 22 out from their own line, and now they try and find some chinks in the armour defensively as they go through the middle here, and there might be some chinks that have been found. It's Kalanova Decina who's breaking away inside the 22, needed support, and then pops the ball out, and a knock-on is ruled, and the Two Blues are able to counter-attack here a little bit as they step around Dion Spice and up over the 40-metre line. They get to the halfway. They need support back on the inside. He has some pace, this James Matawaia, and Matawaia tripped up inside the 22, throws the ball back on the inside to Nick Ben, and Nick Ben will score next to the post for the Two Blues. And it keeps them alive, 19 points to 12 with the kick to come. They needed that. They showed some good defence to force the error from West Harbour. Conversion is good, so 19 plays 14. 3 tries to 2, 2 goals apiece. It's back to a 5-point ball game. And all of a sudden the Two Blues might fancy themselves here. As the kickoff is deep. Good chase though by the Two Blues, and West Harbour are pinned to ground just outside that 22. 5 in from touch. Goes back here to Dion Spice, who throws a long cut-out pass. It's a dangerous pass, and it's juggled fortuitously there by Damien Fleming, and now they create some more room here through Fleming, who beats a couple of defenders and gets out across his 22. Showing good strength at the breakdown, but the Two Blues like a rabid dog at the moment, just nipping at the heels of their West Harbour counterparts as Fleming gets the ball back on the inside to Spice, and Spice puts the afterburners on up over the 40, finds a support player as they move into Two Blues territory. Good interchange of passing here by this West Harbour side. They lead by 19 points to 14. Spice out of acting half. They get inside the 40 now. Long cut-out pass goes to Fleming. Fleming's got support left and right. He goes back on the outside to knock out Rasabale, and Rasabale plants down the corner, and that might just knock the stuffing out of the two Blues there. They trailed by 19-14. Another try, though, to West Harbour. They go out by 24 points to 14 now. 10-point lead. Chance to go 12 clear with this conversion attempt from 15 in from touch, 22 metres out. The kick is heading towards the uprights, but it fades away to the left. 24 plays 14. West Harbour in front of the Western Sydney 2 Blues. A shallow kick-off there by West Harbour, and the two Blues knock it on straight away. It's picked up here by Spice, who spreads the ball to the right. They're going to go all the way back and almost going to invite the two Blues to try and come towards them as they retreat and try and soak more time off this clock. Still alive, keeping the ball alive. Here's Dion Spice in the centre of the park. Goes on the open side here to Nasina. Nasina now goes across to Steffenson. Steffenson steps off his right foot. Lovely ball back on the inside to Spice, but good cover defence by the two Blues. And they are able to create a turnover. Just keep their hopes of scoring more points alive in this contest. Ball's dropped back behind them, and then it's shovelled back. And there's going to be a penalty to the Western Sydney 2 Blues, though. Long cut-out pass. It bounces awkwardly and is eventually picked up there by Christian Hernandez. And Hernandez is chopped down. Great tackle there around the ankles by Steffenson. And now a bit of room down that blind side as it's broken through there by Norman Latu. Latu pops the ball back on the inside of Hernandez. Hernandez tips toe across the sideline and shows great pace. He's eventually tripped up after doing a bit of a goose step, and then it's knocked back and picked up here by West Harbour. And West Harbour able to collect and get the ball over there 40. And a no-look pass on the back to the middle of the field to Spicer. It's eventually knocked on a couple of times by West Harbour. Well, certainly looked like it. Referee has wave play on, so I'm not sure if there was an advantage there or what. It's again, the ball is flung back here to Dion Spice, and he is able just to try and keep possession of the ball and make the two Blues really work to try and make the tackles, as is Noki Rasabale. Now they spread the ball out to that left-hand side. Tired two Blues defenders here as the ball is floated over the top. Kind of get the feeling there could be another try in it, and this is where it's going to come, you'd think. Grubber through, picked up, dives over the line, and that puts the icing on the cake. Another 5-pointer for West Harbour, 29 points to 14. And you can see all the hands and heads and hands on hips of the Western Sydney 2 Blues, just absolutely fatigued and buggered out there. They're putting a good fight, but too much class by North Harbour. And that is the end of the game. There will be the conversion, which is the only elementary factor before we do end this proceeding. .22 metres out, about 2 or 3 metres in from touch. He strikes it heading towards the uprights, and it is going to be waved away, so no good. So it finishes here in the bowl final, 29-14, West Harbour defeating the Western Sydney 2 Blues. We'll take a short break, and we've got the women's semi-finals coming up next.
Welcome back to Lidcombe Oval. We've got the women's semi-final coming up with Maroubra Magic, and the UNE Cubs. And Maroubra are kicking off through Casey. And UNE have the ball now, spreading it wide, looking to spread it wide. Strong contact there from Alea. UNE still with the ball, looking to get some metres. Strong defence so far from Maroubra Magic. Let's see. UNE looking to make a break here. It's great offloading. Oh, strong hit from Alea again. Oh, and UNE have made a break. Nice cover tackle from Bien. Ball's out. Got to send it left. Oh, and a knock on there from UNE. Great passage of play from UNE. Just a UNE player down at the moment, just with some injury time. She looks to be okay though. It's a great passage of play by UNE before. Got over the halfway line, they just couldn't execute there. Yep, she's all good. Let's see what Maroubra Magic can do with attack here. We know we've got some quick players out there. They've got Darcy Morrison out on the wing. Oh, and UNE have won the scrum. UNE have possession now. Oh, unlucky there with the turnover, Monica. UNE just happy to tap and go. Slow ball there. They're just happy to go one out at the moment and make their metres up the field like that. Oh, nice counteract by Maroubra. Monica with the ball now. Off to Tyler. Nice strong run from Tyler. Does she have the legs? Nice offload to Zars. Monica with the bump and the fend. Strong metres up the middle from Monica. Oh, unlucky to get the turnover there for UNE. Magic's looking to tap and go, play quickly. Nice run from Alea. Nice try, just up from the upright. Cassie looking to add the extras here. Great patience from the Magic girls. UNE will be looking here to just have some possession and try and get some phases together to see if they can put some pressure on this Magic team. Cassie with the restart. Taken nicely by Brittany Duff from UNE. Just hands in along the line now. Oh, and they've got it out to their speedster on the wing. It's a foot race. Oh, line out taken quickly by Maroubra. Off to Tyler. Will she have the legs? Nice strong run and offload. Went backwards. Nice. Out to the speedster BB. They won't stop her from there. She'll go in under the posts. Nice turnover play by Magics there with the quick line out. UNE really need to find some possession and try and string some phases together if they want to get back into this match. It'll be Maroubra with the restart again. And she's let it bounce through her legs, and it's going to just stay in the field of play. And UNE have the ball now. Just handsing inside their own 22. Nice, great strong contact there. UNE just looking to take it into contact, hopefully build some pressure and phases. Oh, and they've lost the ball. Penalty to Magic. And a quick tap, seeing Monica power her way over the line. Oh no, sorry, she's just short. Hands would do it. And BB's gone in again for a double. Great quick tap by the Magics, and a strong run from Monica set the platform for BB to score in the corner there. Cassie looking to add the extras. Welcome back to the second half of the women's semi-final. We've got the Maroubra Magics leading the UNE Cubs 15-0. I'm sure the UNE halftime chat would have not been too great, but I'm sure if they score first, then we've got a real contest on our hands. UNE ready to kick off the second half? UNE kick long down the middle. Taken on the full nicely by Darcy. Looking to get out of their 22 now. It's with Dolly. Nice hands from Simone Kapani there. They're looking to spread the ball right here with a loopy pass out there. She's lucky to have that one cleaned up nicely by Tegan. It's with Eva Kapani now, looking to run strong up the middle, and she gets an offload off to her sister Simone. Simone running it out of the 22 on the right-hand side. Nice cover tackle by UNE. Unlucky there. That was an awesome cover tackle by the UNE player there. And we'll have a magic line out. Magic line out on the 40 metre. Oh, nice work from Darcy in the air. And we've got Montana Walters on the field now at centre. What can she do with the ball? Nice strong run up the middle. She's still going. Awesome run by Montana, 30 metre gain. Good quick ball by Tia and off to Tegan. Nice, or unlucky there with the pass. We'll have a UNE scrum just outside their 40. Awesome strong run by Montana Walters just before. Let's see what UNE can do with the ball now. Hopefully they get some more possession and build some phases nicely and get down the other end of the field. UNE with the ball now. Nice strong carry up the middle and offload off to Annika. This is good from UNE. Nice offloading and passing. Out to their speedster on the wing. Awesome offloading from UNE. Oh, she stayed in the field of play. She's still going. What a strong run down the left-hand side and the offload. Oh, and she offload and she's taken it to touch. It'll be a UNE line out in their 22. Awesome couple of phase play from UNE just before. Nice offloading and passing and following of the ball. Brittany Duff will be looking to play quickly here. Nice little line-out move, and UNE have the ball. UNE out to the centre now. She's got a bit of space to work with. Got on the outside of Walters. Awesome run through the middle. Does she have support? Nice run. Nice quick ball from UNE. Strong hit from Eva Kapani there. They're looking to hold her up here. UNE still with possession, looking to score here. Awesome footwork there. UNE with possession. Nice offloading from UNE. Still with the ball inside Magic's 22 now. And they've got the penalty. Just a quick tap and go. Nice draw and pass from Brittany Duff. Oh, unlucky there to get the offload. But they'll play an advantage with Magic not back 10. UNE are looking to quick tap again here. Can they find the space and get their first points of this semi-final? Oh, strong contact there. And she's over. UNE scored their first try of this semi-final. (15-5) still to Maroubra Magic here. It'll be Brittany Duff to try to add the extras for UNE. That was great patience shown by UNE. UNE ready to restart and hopefully get possession and score another quick try just before the semi-finals up. Taken on the full nicely by Cassie, and she's just looking to play in front. Nice stepping by Cassie and an offload to Montana. Out on the wing, it's a foot race. There's no stopping Montana with that much space in front of her. Awesome reply by the Maroubra Magic girls. And Montana Walter scores under the posts. They'll be looking to slow things down here and just see out the rest of this semi-final with Tia Hines ready to add the extras for Maroubra. That's full time there in the semi-final match between UNE Cubs and Maroubra Magic, with Maroubra winning 22-5.
Welcome back to Lidcombe Oval. It's First Nation versus Two Blues here in this other semi-final. Just about to get things underway. The Two Blues. In fact, I think it's number 6 doing the kickoff straight into the opposition's side. Quick handball back to 13. Tries to dodge a few, but falls to the ground. The ball gets knocked forward a little bit. Now back with number 2. Handballs back to 7. 8 with the ball now, just trying to find a way around. They're not doing too badly, just running further to the outer side of the ground though, as Two Blues manage to hold them up. And possibly a penalty going away to a quick pickup again, and trying to do the attacking from here, possibly all the way, could go for home, number 2. Gets the touch. Try. First try of the game against the Two Blues. And this is for the conversion. Straight through. 7 points, the difference. So First Nation with the first goal, kicking a little bit into the wind. It's gotten a lot cloudier, but no rain as of yet. Two Blues hitting a massive wall, but passing it back. Trying to get through a second time almost. Quick pass off again. This time back with number 4, who just manages to sneak through, but gets pulled down as the referee just blows the whistle as a penalty. Going back to First Nation, and now they're off and away. Straight through. Just players weren't ready for that one. And now number 1 maybe getting intercepted by an opposition. Fumbled a little bit. Number 6, I think it is, manages to get the try. So Two Blues weren't fully ready for that, and First Nation were challenged just a little bit, but managed to sneak through. And now the conversion. So at this stage it's 12-0. We'll see if we can make it 14-0 after this kick. Wind affecting it a little bit, so margin stays to 12. So First Nation back with the ball then. Kicks a fair way out to the 20-metre line. Bouncing out it goes. And will be a Two Blues taking it from here. Number 10, I think, will throw it back in. You can probably hear the wind hanging around at the moment. Nothing too strong at this stage. Maybe affecting play a little bit. As Two Blues tries to push it back. Getting held onto. Trying to escape, get pulled down with the legs. And a quick pass away with number 6 passing to a teammate. Gets pretty much taken down straight away. And now 11. Hand passing to a teammate. They're really quite strong defence from First Nation. Not even quite hitting the 40-metre mark just yet. The referee blowing the whistle for a free kick to True Blue. And back with Number 5, I think it is. Hand passes back. Really tricky to get through this defense of First Nation. Couple of passes back, and again, just seems like a similar problem, but could they get through here? Maybe they can. Running till the try line and just managing to get there in time, not getting pulled down by the opposition. So True Blue really needed a response, and they did respond there. Might be a tricky conversion kick though, but at least giving them a chance to stay back in this game. Almost seemed impossible getting through that defense there, but just managed to seep through as number 10 is going to do the work to see if they can pull it back to at least 7. Looking quite grey out there. Just missing to the right hand side, so that would be a bit disappointing for them. They could have just pulled it back to 7, but instead it's back to 9. So number 10 is also going to do the kickoff from the start. And away we go. Kicking almost, straight to an opposition, and now she runs. I think it's number 10 for First Nation. No, just continues to run. 11, sorry. No one can outpace her. She keeps running, starts to slow down. Opposition gives up, and eventually try. Haven't got it yet. Waiting, puts the ball down. So the conversion comes, is it just no, it's just gone through. So I think it's about half time here at Lidcombe Oval. Pretty strong performance from First Nation, and at least some recovery work, I guess, from True Blue. 17-5 is the score. We'll be back right after this short break. (17-5). First Nation in front in this semi-final. True Blue, bit of a task here in the next 7 minutes if they have any chance of getting back in it. It's all got to go their way for this second half. Looks like First Nation is kicking off for the second half. And away we go in the second half. kicking off to True Blue. Straight away swarmed by First Nation. Taken to the ground. The rain is just kicking in as we speak. You feel for the players out there having to play in this 16. Loses the ball. First Nation, can they steal it? I think they have. Quick handball pass back, and now this could be trouble. Running and slightly taken down by a couple. But it's too late. One's just snuck away, and looks like that's a pretty damaging try, that one. First Nation extending the lead by 5. So 22-5 is the score right now, with a conversion to come. Maybe a bullet dodged there. Just went slightly under the goal post. It's back with First Nation. It's going to kick off once again for the game. Up it goes, not the highest of kicks, and looks like that's going to be a penalty going to True Blue. So maybe a bit of sigh of relief. They get to gain some ground, not too much, but at least take control from here and try and get a try back if they can. Number 9's going to start it off for True Blue. Right off the ground it goes. Quick hand pass straight, flinging over a player. Now 2 are there, trying to stop it from her player from moving. And quickly they get up True Blue. Another quick hand pass back. Surrounded by players, getting pushed backwards. Trying to find an alternative route. Number 9 again. Well, that was very close to forward pass. In fact, I think it was. So back with First Nation. A little bit of pressure that they've put on them, and now they've got the ball back with a scrum. What's the umpire signalling? Maybe some players also just coming off and coming back on. Number 4 to come on for First Nation. Here we go then, the scrum conducted by First Nation manages to squeeze through one on the edge of the field now, just running to the try line. Can they get there in time? Looks like it's another try for First Nation. (27-5). I'm pretty sure the score is. Very big margin now. Bit hard to get out of this one for True Blue. So conversion has come, but it's just a bit short. Getting a bit blustery out there as well. Hard to control the ball. Apologies for the strong winds. We're facing basically right towards where the wind is coming from. As First Nation kicks it off again. Lets it bounce, and now a quick pass off. Another one to number 9. Trying to go around the back. There's no option, so they decide to go back the other direction towards the broadcast side. Tries running, slips through one, or just gets taken down. And First Nation penalty, but True Blue penalty, but the referee said it was too quick. 14 passes to 10, passes to 9, and taken down once again. This strong First Nation defence, and that is another penalty. So True Blue take off quickly. 10 with the ball and running. A few chasing and managing to pull her down. Another quick escape, but First Nation are really on top of it with this defence, and even that I think was a knock on. So back with First Nation now. Now they're having a little bit of difficulty trying to get around. 14, 19 back with it now, actually with True Blue. So it slipped out of their hands. And back with First Nation, I think. I wouldn't think there's much time left in this. As they do a scrum roughly about 15 metres out from the try line for True Blue. Can they get one last one before the end of the game? Seeps out though with First Nation. And running very, very fast is 11. No one even on her tail. She can take a casual jog if she really wants to. Umpire's just jogging with her. Decides to eventually go faster. Keeps running and eventually hits home. A bit of a casual run to goal, but eventually the try converted. And will they take the kick? They should. Not long, I'd say, till full time. It's going to be done. The honours will be done by number 9, kicking. And straight through it goes. The margin's really blown now. In fact, maybe beyond what I can recall. I know the margin was 27 at one point. I'm not sure what the current margin is. It's been such a blowout now for this game. And First Nation seem almost eager to get another one. Not the best of kicks. It doesn't go very far, but picked up by True Blue. Number 5, I think he has it now. Hand passes. Not sure what to do, whether to go into the wall or eventually just go into it. Or pass it off, I mean. Eventually taken back by number 2 from First Nation. This could be another try for them as they run all the way and hit the try line. So again, number 9 will kick the conversion, and very confidently done. In fact, I think that is pretty much full time. Pretty convincing win from First Nation. And I'm pretty sure the margins are in the 30s for First Nation. Well, we might have our regular commentary team coming up after this.
Welcome back to Lidcombe Oval, and it's about that time for the Plate Cup final, where we have two sides that unfortunately weren't able to make it to the Cup final, but have made it to the runners-up final, and that is the two sides, the West Coast Drifters and the First Nations, and they do have very similar jerseys, which could make for some confusing times for the players out in the middle, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It will be the First Nation side that will be getting us underway. So we'll see what side can come out on top and be the Plate final winners. We've got the Cup final coming up after this, and then we have the 5v6 playoff, the Plate final, and then the Cup final and the women's draw. Those thunderstorms, I wouldn't say the thunderstorms have hit. There was a little bit of a smattering of rains and showers and some strong breeze that we had around here, but nothing that really has caused the field to become sodden or difficult to play on. And here go the West Coast Drifters as they get their first use of the football in this first half. They spread the ball quickly, looking to find some space, and that's exactly what they do as they move their way down this left-hand flank. He comes to the fullback, throws back on the inside, and it's going to be a foot race inside the final 22. A lovely flick pass back on the inside to the support man for the West Coast Drifters, and Tamaki Vunawa, who's able to cross the line out wide and get the first try of what is turning out to be quite an exciting Plate final. And it is the West Coast Drifters who take the lead by 5 points to 0. Slap bang on 4 o'clock here at Lidcombe Oval. Hope you have been enjoying the coverage. My name is Jack Clifton. A pleasure to be commentating the live stream for these matches today. The kick is waved away to the right, so it stays 5 points to 0 to the Drifters over the First Nation. And the Drifters get us back underway with a shallow kick. In fact, it's going to be a penalty because there's some players that have creeped in front of the line and have been adjudged to be offside. So a chance for the First Nations boys to hit back almost immediately. And they go out there through Tyrone Phillips, who is dancing away from a couple of would-be defenders. He's slung to the ground, gets up and goes again, and tries to get the support there of Kitchener-Waters as they move the ball into the right-hand side here to McLaughlin. McLaughlin up over the halfway, looking for support back on the inside. There's none forthcoming, and he's collared 40 metres away. We're going to see a penalty, though, and it's going to go against the First Nation side. So a costly turnover there, and it's the West Coast Drifters who will be getting the football back. Let's see what they can do. A couple of early shifts to the outside. It flicks the ball into Micah Toga, and Toga up over the halfway looking for support, flicks it back inside. It looked like it might have been knocked on by the First Nation side, but referee said play will to continue. That is a knock on though, and now it's been picked up by the West Coast Drifters, and they'll go away and they'll score right underneath the posts. Easy does it for them. A costly mistake by the First Nation 7 side. And all of a sudden, the West Coast Drifters are 2 tries to the good. They lead by 10 points to 0 with a kick to come from directly under the posts. And they hook the ball up over the black dots. So 2 tries and 1 goal to start this match here for the West Coast Drifters, leading by 12 points to 0 over the First Nation 7 side. That rain and wind has certainly dropped the temperature a bit. Much more pleasant conditions here at Lidcombe Oval than they were a couple of hours ago when the sun was beating down on the players. Here's First Nation as they spread the ball from Phillips, who goes open side now as they try and find some chinks in the armour. They might just do that as they pop the ball around, playing the Fijian style of rugby as they work their way up over the halfway line. Dancing off the right and left, and they collared 42 metres away. Another penalty here to the First Nation side. They decide to tap and go and spread it across this expansive backline that they have. Phillips goes open side here to Fuller. Fuller drags the ball back inside, goes to Mark O'Dare. O'Dare still going, one-on-one with the fullback. They get some numbers across there and able to just hold him up as he's about a metre away. Out of acting half they go here from Fuller. Fuller's about 2 or 3 metres away from the try line. Good pushing and strong defence by the West Coast side, but they're just going to tap and go, and they wanted a try, although didn't able to go over the line even with that quick tap, so They will have to restart play. They're down by 12 points to 0. Let's see what they can do. As they pass across here to Tyrone Phillips. Phillips goes further wide out to the winger on that far side. He dances past a couple of defenders and he'll run around to improve the angle and score right underneath the post. Well, bad enough they let the try in, but they really went to sleep there, didn't they, the West Coast Drifters, in letting their opposition numbers score right underneath the post. So they score to make it 12-5. Conversion from directly in front be taken here by Kitchener Waters, who makes no mistake, and reduce the margin of 12 points to 7 here in this first half. And they're right back in this ball game. And the ball has been towed ahead there by the First Nations side, but referee has seen a knock on, and so the ball will be heading back to the West Coast Drifters. And the referee is ruling a scrum feed to the Drifters, who lead by 12 points to 7. It was all the running in the first few minutes with a couple of quick and nice offensive tries, but that last try to the First Nations 7 side has got them firmly back in the contest. We have the Men's Cup final coming up after this. As the ball breaks from the scrum, and the Drifters have the ball inside their own 22 and almost are breaking through that First Nations defence. Keeps the ball alive, trying to promote the football there. Was Jovalisi Natoya, who has scored one of the tries so far today, as they go back from Kokau. He's trying to create some holes for his outside men, but none forthcoming, as the ball almost looks like it pops out of the tackle, but is gratefully clutched to the chest once more, as they aren't really making any meters. High shot there, so a penalty going to the Drifters, leading by 12 points to 7. Move the ball across the back line. It's catch and pass type stuff at the moment for the Drifters, as they break their way almost up to the halfway line. So have controlled possession well in this phase of play. They go open side there to the Drifters. The ball dropped back. It's picked up comfortably there by Tomoki Vaniwa, and Vaniwa offloads the ball out to Sengiasau, and Sengiasau is promoting the football, as we've seen pretty much all afternoon. And now we see the Drifters break into the back foot inside the 22. Keeps his feet inside the field of play, dumps it off to Rapate Labalaba. And Labalaba runs back in the centre of the park and might find an opening. He does. He streaks straight through. The defence is not going to be able to lay a hand on him. Well, they just laid a hand on him as he dots down next to the posts. And the defensive work just making the First Nations side just a little bit fatigued. And they give up a try there. And it's now 17 points to 7 with a kick to come in favour of the West Coast Drifters. And this will be the last play of the first half. I've got an injury as well to one of the, I think that is that one of the Drifters players? No, it's one of the First Nations players that was trying to make that ankle tap. So perhaps an injury to the arm. The conversion is good. And at halftime, it is the West Coast Drifters in control of this Plate Cup final, leading by 19 points to 7 over the First Nations. They'll take a short break and be back for the second half very shortly. Welcome back here to Lidcombe Oval. The second half about to be taking place in this Plate Cup final. 19-7, West Coast Drifters up over the First Nations 7. We've got the Cup final, the main event of the men's competition, coming up next between Tamadamu and Nabua. So the Cup final taking place there before we have the women's 5th versus 6th playoff, the women's plate final, and then finally the women's Cup final to complete what has been a tantalising and exciting 2 days of the Western Sydney Sevens and the Diggers Cup here at Lidcombe Oval. So it will be the First Nations 7 side that will get first use of the football in the second half. We'll be hoping they get first use of the football in the second half. Down 19-7, they have to be the first team to score. You'd think if the Drifters scored another try and got it out to 24-7 or 26-7, it might be good night. As a deepish kickoff will be marked here by the First Nations side as they throw a couple of dummies and break themselves up to the 40-metre line. They keep the play going as it's taken forward there by Dylan McLaughlin. At the breakdown, though, it's going to be a penalty to the First Nations side. Long spread inside their own half, but good cover defence there by the Drifters, not letting them create any holes as they get within 5 of the halfway line. 19-7, Drifters over First Nations, but out of acting half goes McLaughlin, and he's up over halfway. Good run from him. In fact, it was Tarek Parda that time who got 5 metres inside of the territory of this Drifters lineup as they're 38 away. Out of acting half goes Kawane. Kawane goes back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin doesn't know what to do. Tries to break a couple of tackles, and he does just that, and he gets half an opening, pops the ball at the back. It's been picked up. The referee's going to say no, a high shot. It's going to be a penalty here, and they go forward and go right through the middle to the First Nations side there through Jaden Kitchener-Waters. And then the ball has been towed through and should be able to be cleaned up here by the Drifters, and the Drifters do clean up, and they're only about 2 or 3 metres out from their own line, so at the wrong end of the park of where they want to be, but they do have the ball in possession, which is helping them and not having to do any defensive work. And now goes back, and it's the First Nations side who are able to collect the ball via a turnover. Here's McLaughlin, he's 5 away, he gives it back to the number 6 in Kawane, and Kawane almost bursts his way straight through. He'll dive under the post and score a try, and they're back in at 19 plays 12. Great work by Isaiah Kawane. And they'll get a chance to convert from right under the sticks. They do just that. 2 more points added to the total. It's the West Coast Drifters 19, First Nations side 14. And we have a ball game in our hands. West Coast Drifters perhaps getting a bit nervous now, as the short kickoff might be won by First Nations. It is, and they find themselves in very good field position, only about 27, 28 metres away from the Drifters' goal line. Out of acting half they go, and it's a nice run by Denzel Burns, racing his way down the sideline. He'll get a try as well. Runs around to improve the angle. We're all tied up now at 19 points apiece. They look dead in the water at 19-7, but back-to-back tries make it 19 all. Great pace and elusiveness shown by Denzel Burns, and a chance for the First Nations side to take a shock lead here late in the second half. Strikes this one, heading towards the upright, hits the upright and bounces away. Well, it was certainly on its way for 2 points, but not to be. And we stay locked up at 19 all. First Nations 19. The West Coast Drifters 19. Who is going to win this Plate Cup final? Ball's bouncing again, is picked up by the First Nations side, so 3 consecutive turnovers for them has got them in great field position as they throw the ball on the outside. The referee's going to rule a forward pass. And a big defensive play made there by this West Coast Drifters side. They'll get to pack this scrum down 35 metres out from their own line. Time ticking away, 19 all. And now we're going to see an error from the West Coast Drifters. Is that what the referee's called? He has. The ball is going to be given to the First Nations side. And they'll fancy their chances of potentially getting a try, maybe just stealing this. They've been resumed in this second half, scoring 12 unanswered points. Is there another 5 or 7 more in them? They'll pack the scrum down. 35 away. End of acting half they go, and a little chip over the top. And the Drifters have got numbers back, although it's been picked up by the First Nation after an error. They score under the post and take a 24 points to 19 lead. It was fortuitous, but you've got to have luck sometimes. Bailey Collins, the try scorer, after a nice chip and chase by Denzel Burns, and spilt at the back by the West Coast Drifters, who have seen their lead completely evaporate. Led 19-7. They now trail 24 points to 19. And taking their time to take the conversion are the First Nations side, who add another 2 points to the total, 26 points to 19. Time becoming an enemy now for the West Coast Drifters, who trail by 26 points to 19. The last 3 kickoffs after tries have all come down the way of the First Nations. Can they make it 4? It travels about 15 metres and they get up, and it looks like it's propelled forward by the First Nations. Referee has no problems with it though, and the First Nations are again able to collect possession from a kickoff 4 times in a row. After points, they lead 26 points to 19. And a penalty is given away by the West Coast Drifters, who've barely touched the ball in their second stanza. Is that one of the nails in the coffins for them as they're down by 7? As they go open side, 35 away. Dinking their way into the defensive line. Another penalty given away by the Drifters as they're self-imploding here at Lidcombe Oval in this Plate Cup final. Back to the middle they go. Long cut-up pass, which has been intercepted. Oh, all of a sudden we see a nice breakdown field by the West Coast Drifters. They throw the ball back on the inside. And they're working their way to the halfway line. That was the opportunity they needed, but can they take full care of it? And Sengagasu, who's up over the halfway, gives it back to Natoya. Natoya looking for some room. He throws the ball on the open side here to Micah Toga. And Micah Toga's going nowhere. There's a sea of yellow jumpers in front of him. Tries to offload and makes the error. And that might be the ball game for them, as we see the First Nations 7 side work it out from their own end and trying to soak up the clock. Pass, an awkward looking pass goes behind them, and it's picked up thankfully by Jordan Renfrey, and Renfrey slung to the ground about 30 out from his own goal line. First Nations 26, West Coast Drifters 19, penalty to the First Nations side. And that is it, so full time, and it's the West Coast Drifters who have blown a 19-7 lead, and the First Nation side that have got through to win this Plate Cup final, 26 points to 19. A fantastic achievement, coming down and scoring 19 unanswered points in the second half. We'll take a short break here before we have the big cup final coming up in a few minutes' time, and that is being taking place between Tamadamu and Nabua. So see you in a couple of minutes' time. And here we are, it's time for the main event in the men's competition, the cup final between Tabadamu and Nabua. The two island teams have entertained and thrilled the fans over the last couple of days, and they get a chance to see if they can take out the cup final. It will be Tabadamu who will be getting us underway, kicking off. They're undefeated. They won their 3 pool games, their quarterfinal, their semi-final, both convincingly. As we see the First Nations 7-side celebrate having won the Plate Cup final, the runners-up trophy, if you will. And here is Tabadamu as they swing the ball. They've just been so expansive with their play, haven't they? So exciting to watch. And plenty of fans in the grandstand now watching them and hoping that they can get the job done. But a Nabua side that is not to be taken lightly. Strong defensive side trying to get in the face as they tap and go here through Seneca Kavava. They spread the ball nicely across that back line of theirs as they try and create some openings, but none forthcoming. Get up towards the 22-metre line. Good strong defence here by Nabua at the moment, but Tabadamu certainly not going to be die-wondering, although Nabua racing their way down the touchline, and they're going to go inside the 22. A foot race for the final 10. Takes a nice little veer, dives over. Really good try there. And it's Nabua that will take the lead. They score the first try, leading by 5 points to 0. It was a breakaway against the run of play. And bit of a shock there, considering Tabadamu have been so dominant. They started with possession, but perhaps a little bit wasteful with it in that turnover inside the 22. So conversion no good, 5 points to 0 it stays. But a good start regardless for Nabua. We have, after this, just 3 matches left. The 5th vs 6th playoff in the women's draw, followed by the Plate Cup final in the women's draw, and then the Cup final. So 3 games remaining as it's marked there by Senawanawa for the Tabadamu side. Nabua get the ball, though, a costly error in the air there. It sees them on the attack, already up 5 points to 0. They tap and go inside. Pass there given to Eparama Vulivao. Vulivao throws back on the outside. They're going to say forward pass. So Nabua trying to be a little bit too cute, a little bit too tricky with the ball there. They've made an error. Will be a scrum feed to Tabadamu. So a tap and go, long cutout pass as it's thrown on the outside there to Seki Moche, and he finds some support, and they go down that right-hand flank, and this is what they're so good at, creating spaces and then putting the afterburners on. Although, as I mentioned, player is dragged down. Penalty, though, to Tabadamu on the attack, trailing 5 points to 0. So more of a defensive battle than some of the other games have been. Sidavi Wanga dances inside the 40, pops the ball to a support man on the inside, and now they run back and they lose about 10 or 15 metres, but then he turns on the afterburners. Great work by Seneca Kavava, races away, round the fullback. Superb work, Sevens rugby at its finest. Fooled them, thought he was going back, and then did a big pirouette and 360, scores under the sticks, and ties the scores up at 5 points all. Not too many better tries you'll see than the one there by Asavarosa, Seneca Kava. He knocks over the conversion, and Tabadamu lead for the first time in the cup final, 7 points to 5. Kickoff, is it going to go 10? It does just. It goes about 11.5 metres and it's picked up by Penny Rauluni. Rauluni breaking his way through and setting defenders sprawling left and right, pushing away from defenders, still going Rauluni, working towards the try line, and he gets there. Fantastic individual try, great power, strength and speed, and straight away Naboo have hit back. And they take the lead back, 10 points to 7 with a kick to come. Some great enterprising play. And the big number one, Penny Rauluni, showed that he doesn't just have pace, he has strength and power to get over the line. And looking like Naboo will be heading into half-time with the lead. They lead by 3. This is an important kick from directly in front. It's knocked over the black dot, 2 more points, 12 points to 7. And Naboo 12. Tabadamu 7, so Tabadamu haven't trailed really at all in this campaign. They won their 3 group games, and then resounding wins in the quarterfinals and semi-finals. In the quarterfinals, they beat the Western Sydney 2 Blues 34-0. And this one looks like it has just bounced in the field of play. They're saying that it has gone out in the full. Regardless, it is Naboo 12 leading Tabadamu 7. So a bit of hoo-ha down that right-hand side as Tabadamu try and find them napping, but it doesn't work. And so that in fact is half-time. So referee blows for half-time, and at the moment it's Naboo who is 7 minutes away from taking out the cup final. They lead 12-7 over Tabadamu. So a couple of minutes break and be back to bring you all the action of the second half. Almost go time here for this second half. Naboo 12 leading Tabadamu 7. It's been an enthralling cup final here in the men's competition. There's only 7 minutes left. Who's going to take it? Oh, beautiful take in the air there by Penny Rauluni, who gets a ball back on the inside. It's been knocked on with a try line open. A real missed opportunity there for Naboo. A try there would have made it 17-7 or even 19-7. Again, he's just so potent in the air as Penny Rauluni. A big, strong customer, lots of speed behind him as well. And he tried to set up his team for another try, but it wasn't to be. And Tabadamu breathe a collective sigh of relief. They're still in the game, down by 5. We've had about 30 seconds in this second half. Referee calls a penalty. Infringement made there by Nabua. Tabamadu try and create the ball, but another penalty, back-to-back penalties. Need to be careful here not to have a player sent to the sin bin, because that's when they really could be in some trouble. A heavy tackle there on Asarosa. Seneca Carver does well to make sure he releases the ball after that ball and all tackle. But cramping them for room as they try and keep the ball alive. The ball popped out the back. I think Nabua might have it. They do. That's a big turnover. They just have not looked comfortable, have they? The Tabadamu side, and even despite forcing Nabua back into their own half, they kind of look like the more likely of the two sides to score next to this Nabua side. Although the ball has been turned over once again, it's Tabadamu who will find the ball, and they'll get themselves a penalty as well inside Nabua's half. They still do trail by 12 points to 7. Nabua lead in this cup final. Scrum packs down 45 metres away from the Nabua goal line. Darting out of acting half, catch and pass type stuff. It's a awkward looking pass that is eventually picked up there by Adonisa. And Tabadamu move their way through and get to 25 away from the goal line. The penalty though, turnover goes against the Tabadamu side. And in fact, the referee's reversed his decision. He's going to say it's a penalty to Tabadamu, so they get a great opportunity for an attacking raid here. Down 12 points to 7. They need some spark, a little bit of energy, something here. Just takes one try for the game to be turned back on its head. Moche goes out wide here to Sedevedi Wanga. Wanga takes on the defence inside the 22, breaks a couple of tackles, but is heralded in by some good defence there by Nabua. Another penalty though, they wouldn't clear the ruck. Referee just explaining there to Sedeveni Logiaval what the ruling was. Wasn't too happy about it originally. Across the middle of the park, they go from right to left, trying to find an opening. Sinanawawa trying to break through but can't. Good defence at the moment, but you just kind of feel it's only a matter of time until Tabadamu with the class all over the park that they do get that try. Down by 12 points to 7. Open side they go, trying to bore their way across, and they might just find it here. They will. They'll score under the posts, and they tie things up at 12 points all. It wasn't the classiest try that we've seen from them in this campaign, but it was brute strength and power which ties things up at 12 points apiece. And a golden opportunity here for Seneca Calva to give Tabadamu the lead for just the second time in this fixture. Deep into the second half, he slots it over, 14 points to 12. Tabadamu lead Nabua, and this kickoff becomes integral now, because if they're able to regain possession, Tabadamu, then they would fancy their chance of going and scoring another try, maybe putting the game to bed. Whereas if Nabua get it, they have looked threatening with ball in hand for a large majority. Strong breeze as well as it sails high into the Sydney skyline, and it's going to be knocked on there by Nabua and then taken forward here by the big number 2 in Senanawawa. And Senanawawa is able to spread the ball out into the fringes, and almost it could be another try coming. There is another try coming, and that might be the cup final as well. Abel Antuanasa is the try scorer. He scores to make it 19 to 12. A 7-point lead, the biggest of the game. And if they were able to kick this conversion, that might be good night for a Gallant. Nabua side that might just feel their cup dreams are fading. Conversion a tough one, 5 or 6 metres in, 21 metres out. Strong breeze to kick into as well. But the most important kick of the game. Striker's heading towards the uprights, but is no good. Is wide left, so it stays. Tabadamu 19, Nabua 12. Nabua still in with a chance if they can get the ball back and convert a try. Ties things up here at Lidcombe. High towering kick, Nabua need to get this, they do. They mark it comfortably. Catch taken by Panea Leve. At the back, deep inside their own quarter line. Is there a spark? No, there isn't. There's a knock on. And that might curtail their dreams. That's what they didn't need. They need to hold onto the football. And there it is. It's all over. And it's the cup final champions of the Western Sydney Sevens are Tabadamu with a 19 points to 12 win over a gallant and hard-fighting Nabua side. But Tabadamu, the best side in the men's competition, day 1 and day 2, resounding winners in the quarters and semi-finals, and they've ground out a hard-fought and gutsy 19 points to 12 win against Nabua here to take out the Western Sydney Sevens Diggers Cup on the men's side of the draw. We'll take a time to catch our breath because we've still got 3 women's games, the 5th, 6th playoff, the Plate Cup final, and the Cup final coming up here on Bar TV's live stream of the Western Sydney Sevens. Welcome back to Lidcombe Oval. Jack Clifton here with you for the women's 5th place playoff here. And the Western Sydney Sevens, it's the West Harbour Pirates against Savu Savu. Savu Savu playing in the blue and the natural black and red jumper. So you can hear the applause for the men's champions making their way up the race to get a photo in front of the Western Sydney Sevens sides. But it's Savu Savu who are starting off proceedings here wearing their sky blue jumper as they look to snag a 5th place finish. After this we have the Plate Cup final between UNE and the Western Sydney 2 Blues. Turnover here sees West Harbour with the ball, and they dance their way into a good position through Breezy. And she's collared down about 27 metres away from the Savu Savu goal line. And of acting half, they move from right to left. Some slow looping passes onto the outside. It's taken forward by Grace Tokabobo. And Tokabobo is tackled from behind, so good strong tackling there by Savu Savu as they try and jolt the ball free and create a mistake, but none forthcoming at the moment. No score here between the West Harbour Pirates and Savu Savu, and there's an opportunity here for West Harbour as they break themselves inside the 22, down to about 13 metres out from the goal line. Waiting for it at the breakdown. West Harbour, they've got some numbers here, but the ball is knocked on. And they almost don't forget to kill the play and could have been harmful, but the knock-on is the ruling made by the referee. So a bit of a slow start to this 5th place playoff, no score. So a bit of a delay here, waiting for the scrum to pack down. Taramadu celebrating with their trophy and the $7,000 that comes with winning the Western Sydney Sevens men's competition. As Savu Savu are drilled from behind. They need to try and work the ball out of their own half, but it's difficult at the moment. But they break away down this right-hand side. It's taken forward by Talai Holmes. Nice quick ball movement, and now we see Savu Savu break away downfield up over the halfway line. It's a foot race, but the foot race only lasts about 20 metres because it's a beautiful runaway by this Savu Savu side. And they will score under the post and score the first try and first points of the game. And they eventually put it down. I think it's a little bit unnecessary to be holding the ball for this long to put it down. Never know when you're going to be behind, and then you might look back at those 20 or 30 seconds and think that we probably shouldn't have been so wasteful. It eventually does put it down after an eternity, 5-0. And the conversion coming here from Luceno Quialevu. She has no concerns and knocks it over the black dots, 7-0. So penalty now goes against Savu Savu, and West Harbour have a chance to consolidate their standing here and try and push forward to collect some more points. Quick shift down the left-hand side, but again West Harbour just not able to hold onto the peel, spill it, and the ball is going to be headed back to Savu Savu right on the halfway line. They lead by 7-0. Scrum packing down right on halfway. Savu Savu leading West Harbour 7-0 in this 5th place playoff. It's scooped up there by Morgan Critchley, and Critchley is able to pass the ball back on the inside. This is enterprising play. Good offensive awareness here by Savu Savu as they get their way down to the 22. Great attacking opportunity as they throw it through the hands. It's now taken forward here by Tanika Marshall. Marshall beats a couple of defenders, gets past the fullback, and will be able to stride away over and plant the ball down, and scores the second try for Savu Savu. They lead by 12 points to nil, in a firm position now to take out this 5th place playoff, albeit still being in the first half. A difficult kick. Lining it up is Losena Qualevu, and Qualevu makes no mistakes, 2 from 2 for her. And it is all Savu Savu at the moment. They lead West Harbour Pirates by 14 points to nil in this 5th place playoff in the first half. So West Harbour get the ball, but again pinned deep inside their quarter line. It's been a game of territory and possession, dominated here by Savu Savu. As West Harbour have tried to spread the ball out to the fringes, but just hasn't worked. The defence has just been smothering from Savu Savu, almost mirroring what England did to New Zealand in that World Cup semi-final a couple of weeks ago. Rushing up, getting in the face of the opposition attackers, and that ball is going to come back to Savu Savu. Knock on, but that is half-time. So we're halfway through this 5th place playoff. It's all Savu Savu. 2 tries and 2 goals for them. They lead by 14 points to nil. Take another short break here on the Bar TV live stream of the Western Sydney Sevens. They'll be back in a couple of minutes for the second half. Back here for the second half, 5th place playoff. The West Harbour Pirates taking on Savu Savu. And it has been all Savu Savu in the opening half. 2 converted tries for them as they lead by 14 points to nil. And just 7 minutes away from claiming a 5th place playoff standing here in the Western Sydney Sevens women's side of the draw. Earlier on we had Tamamadu take out the men's Western Sydney Sevens competition with a 19 points to 12 win. They'll celebrate the $7,000 cheque and all the rewards that come with that. Back here at Lidcombe Oval, it is Savu Savu will get us back underway as the floodlights take full effect. That thunderstorm didn't seem to eventuate, but we do have some greyish skies, and it at least has cooled things down. As we see, the West Harbour Pirates have first use of the football At the back they go, unsure of which way or which direction to go. It's been smothering defence by Savu Savu in that first half. At the breakdown, it's taken forward by West Harbour, and Spillane now with the ball, trying to break tackles and defenders, and she's driving away for it. It was a good run in the end. She made about 14 or 15 metres. Back to the middle, across that 40-metre line. That's taken forward here by Hayley Haifo, and Haifo back up over the halfway. There's good interchanges of passes here. This is better. This is what they need. Famasuli, all thrown at the back and picked up. Referee's going to say what? He's going to rule a penalty against Saville Saville, and now we see West Harbour Pirates charge their way into opposition territory. A good run of 10 metres there by Famasuli. Long cut-out pass. They've got numbers here. If they can go down their side, they've got a 2-on-1 overlap. They decide to go that way. It's good cover defence by Saville Saville, but they won't be able to stop Grace Tokabobo, who slides over out wide and gets the West Harbour Pirates their first try of the game. 14 points to 5 with a kick to come. Nice slick ball movement out to the edges, and Grace Tokabobo was able to finish it off. It's a tricky conversion. 10-15 metres in, and the conversion would never look like going, and it stays a 9-point ball game. So it is Saville Saville 14, the West Harbour Pirates 5. Drive this kick downfield, and it's marked there by Makasi Vunakasi. And you see them break through and now get up over the halfway line into West Harbour territory. That's a good run, 20-25 metres down the field. And all of a sudden, West Harbour defensively on the back foot once again. They trail 14 points to 5. It's going to be a penalty, though, to West Harbour. Not releasing the ball. And now West Harbour have another good attacking opportunity as they move up to the halfway line. Another penalty, though. Offside called against the Saville Saville side. It's just whether West Harbour can find some chinks in the defensive armour. Giving away 3 penalties in succession now. One try they did score. It took a few minutes for it to build up, and they do need to score twice more, West Harbour, so it still is a bit of a mountain to climb. And then a brilliant run going straight through there was a little number 6, Aroa Spillane. She'll score under the post. That makes things a little bit easier. 14 points to 10 now. And an opportunity for her to take the conversion and make it 14 points to 12. She was looking around to see if anyone would take the conversion. None was forthcoming, so she's going to take the kick from just in front. And it goes under the bar, so it's no good. So 2 costly misses from very gettable positions, and it is still the Saville Saville side in the lead by 14 points to 10 over the West Harbour Pirates. But Pirates know one more try, and they will have the lead. So anyone's ball game here. There you go, Saville Saville. They've just been a little bit shell-shocked in the second half, conceding back-to-back tries, not looking there themselves, giving away penalties and turn the ball over. Well, they'll get a penalty that would go in their direction this time. A couple of slips there from West Harbour, and they find themselves in the backfield here through Vani Arai. And Arai throws the ball back to a teammate, and was able to pick it up and then shelve it off to another teammate. As they break into the backfield. This will be the 3rd try they've been looking for, and it's Sarah Cocchiono who scores around and improves the angle, makes it 19 points to 10, and that might just be the nail in the coffin. Didn't need that. 19 points to 10 now, and it's going to be another big mountain for them to climb. Conversion, a chance to make it an 11-point ball game. And was minimal effort, looked like there as the ball didn't even head towards the goalpost, but regardless, is a 9-point lead here for Savu Savu, 19 points to 10 over West Harbour. And the kickoff just travels the required 10 metres as it's taken here by West Harbour, who need to score immediately, and they might. They burst their way straight through. It's a foot race for the final 25. Inside the 22, defence coming, and it's a great cover tackle. Tackling her from behind, just 5 metres away. And that's a penalty, and that really should be a sin binning. It's a professional foul. In fact, is it going to be a penalty try? Yep, so it is a professional foul. She goes to the sin bin, stopping a try-scoring opportunity. And it looks like the referee has awarded a penalty try, so that makes it 19 points to 15 now. They look destined to score. It was a lovely burst up the middle which set up the try. And now, I'm assuming with the penalty try that even though they haven't taken the conversion, that they've just given the 2 points. So, going to assume that it's 19 points to 17 now in favour of Savu Savu, who are down to 6 players as well. And the kickoff bounces. It's a favourable bounce in the end for Savu Savu, who will just be looking to hold on to possession here. They are clinging on to a 2-point lead, 19 to 17. West Harbour, though, have been able to steal the ball away. Comfortably done there by, that might have been Roa Spillane on the far side. Is there a try? Can West Harbour steal this after being down 14-0? They trail 19-17. Here's Spillane. Spillane almost breaks her way through. Probably should have let the ball go. She gets it back on the inside there to Breeze E. And he is collared to the ground 15 metres away, but then gets the ball away to Spillane, who will score under the post and maybe win the game. 22 points to 19. They were down 14-0, and they've come with a strong headwind in this second half. Tries to take the conversion. But there it is. It's all over. A great comeback by the West Harbour Pirates, coming from 14-0 down to win 22 points to 17 over Savu Savu. 22 points to 19, pardon me. After Savu Savu led by 14 points to 0 and then 19 points to 10 in the second half. So they secure 5th place, while Savu Savu will have to settle for 6th. We'll take another short break. We've got the Plate Cup final coming up next between the Western Sydney Two Blues and also the University of New England. That'll be out very, very shortly here on the live stream. Welcome back to Lidcombe Oval. It's almost time for the Plate Cup final. So the two losers from the semi-finals previously this afternoon battle each other. It's the University of New England Cubs and the Western Sydney Two Blues, with of course the winner not only being the Plate Cup winners, but also having the position of finishing third on the day. And we're underway here as the Western Sydney Two Blues kick off, and a bit of a drop backwards there by the University of New England as they spread the ball quickly along their impressive backline through Zoe Holt and also Alicia Martin, and they break themselves downfield and might almost be able to score a try. Well, they will as they dance their way inside the 22. It's a foot race to the line, and they are going to be scoring right under the post. What a start from the girls from the Hunter region. They spread the ball quickly and race 70 metres unhampered to score under the post and lead by 5 points to nil. Conversion from directly in front is slammed over. 7 points to nil. Perfect start for the University of New England. They played well in some of their group games. And you might also see some of the Maroubra Magic girls warming up there in the final against the First Nations. That taking place after this, so not too long left in the day. Just one more match remaining after this of what has been a great spectacle for Sevens rugby. And who knows, some of these girls and guys that may be playing in the Sydney Sevens when it comes to Bankwest Stadium in February. That doesn't go 10 metres to kick off, so will be a penalty at the middle of halfway. And they break straight through. Beautiful bit of running there as Kayla Saveo from the Two Blues is able to score under the post, unhampered away as she raced 50 metres downfield to score. And in a moment we could see the scores tied up at 7-all. Currently 7-5 to the Cubs over the Two Blues. And the conversion is successful, so tit-for-tat stuff between these two sides in this Plate Cup final. University of New England 7, Western Sydney Two Blues 7. So the Two Blues to get us back underway. They'll be relieved having conceded that try off the first passage of play. To get a try back and lock it up at 7-all. Here you go, the University of New England. They like that left-hand edge offensively, don't they? They have identified maybe a few cracks in the Two Blues defensive line, but they will move from right to left now. A dancing little run that's almost knocked on. In fact, it is knocked on, so gives possession to the Western Sydney Two Blues. Prince right on the 22. Rain's starting to tumble here at Lidcombe Oval as well, so that pitch could be getting just a little bit greasy. Ball spills out the side of the scrum. What's the referee going to rule? He's going to get them to pack it down again. They've won it against the feet, have the University of New England. They really needed that. That was a big passage of play as they try and draw in defenders, and they do just that as they scamper themselves down the left sideline, but unfortunately just doesn't have quite enough pace to outlast the on-rushing Two Blues defenders. Back to the middle we go. Some numbers out on this right-hand side if they want to go that way, but the Two Blues doing a good job wrapping up the ball, and then the ball is stripped one-on-one, picked up by the Western Sydney Two Blues, and they are now just 22 metres away in the centre of the park. What can they show us? They try to keep the ball alive. They do. They give it to the big ranging number 10 who's brought down just 2 metres out, but then manages to find it to a support player who plants it down over the stripe underneath the posts. And the Western Sydney Two Blues, after trailing early on, have been able to score back-to-back tries, leading by 12 points to 7. A chance to go out by a converted try as well. as we near the ending of this first half in this Plate Cup final. And no problems with the conversion. So 14 points to 7. It's been quite a comeback from the Western Sydney Two Blues. Back-to-back tries, and they've been strong defensively when they've had ball in hand. They haven't been scared to promote the football and try and create some line breaks. So the University of New England get the ball back, and they might find themselves, they break just through, easily done. It was just a little show and go, and she split the defence brutally up the middle. Unfortunately, we can't see the orange numbers on the back of the jerseys, but it was a great piece of individual play regardless. And she's able to score the try to make it 14 points to 12. And a chance for the Cubs to tie things up right on the stroke of half time. That's just what they do. 14 points all. High scoring and tight contest, this one. And so half-time called by the referee as well. So half-time in this Plate Cup semi-final. 14 points all between the University of New England Cubs and the Western Sydney Two Blues. Will take a short break and bring you the action of the second half very shortly. In that short little intermission, the heavens have opened and the rain is starting to tip down here at Lidcombe Oval as the floodlights are well and truly taking effect at what is starting to look a more progressively dark and gloomy Lidcombe Oval. And the girls playing in the Cup final, the First Nations and the Maroubra Magic, might find it a little bit difficult as we see the kickoff not travelling the required 10 metres. Rain really coming down quite heavily now and really soddening up this pitch. So don't be surprised we see a few players slipping and sliding around. Magic happy to continue to train in it, obviously becoming acclimatised to the conditions. And an error there by the Two Blues gives position back to the University of New England. It's a shocking looking pass out the back. As they break away, and the University of New England with yet another line break, using their speed and elusiveness to run around and score underneath the posts. Lovely try, great bit of individual enthusiasm and athleticism. And they're back in front, the University of New England, 19 points to 14 with a conversion attempt to come. Chance to go out by 7. Straight over the black dot, perfect strike, and it's the Cubs leading 21 points to 14 now over the Western Sydney Two Blues, who need to find something in their reserves. Again, the kickoff, that's not going to go 10 metres either. So back-to-back kickoffs, failing to go the required 10 metres, and it opens the door here for the Western Sydney Two Blues. Down by 21 points to 14, rain falling. Thankfully not too much of a breeze. The breeze is pretty much non-existent. Look a little bit void of ideas, the Two Blues at the moment, as they pop a ball over the back, and it's going to be towed forward there by the University of New England. And then kicked again, rubbering in. This could almost be a really good individual try. Skews off the side of the boot and then is unable to collect the ball as the Two Blues scurry back and make sure they get there. They get a penalty as well, which helps their cause, but that could have been calamitous for the Western Sydney side. Scrum's going to pack down 3 metres out from the Two Blues try line. They try and spin the ball out, and instead they just break way through. That's poor defence by the University of New England. It's a foot race as she's got 50 to go. She's been gained on inside the 40. Runs on the angles, going to get inside the 22. But good cover defence there by the University of New England. No support either. And she has to die with the football. It might almost even be a turnover. It is going to be a turnover. Failing to release the ball, and it all come undone after a big break up the middle, which could have been the opportunity the University of New England were looking for. Sorry, the Western Sydney Two Blues were looking for. Great cover defence by the Cubs. Now they have a chance to spread the butter and potentially make something of it, but they knock the ball on. And it'll be a scrum feed inside the 22. Golden opportunity now. Time being soaked away. Scrum packs down 21 metres away. It's picked up here by the Two Blues as they drive themselves forward, trying to ruck and maul their way towards the try line. It's a really good push, good strength shown as they get within 10 of the try line. Continue to move forward. They're holding on for dear life. The University of New England leading by 21 points to 14. Throws a big dummy and slices her way through. She'll score under the posts. And in a moment, things may just be tied up. 21 points to 19 with a kick to come. Great vision shown there by the number 10 for the Two Blues. Pauline Riley able to slice her way through and dive under the sticks. There's a chance to convert this. It's a big kick with time expiring. She strikes it and she's able to convert 21 all. Anyone's ball game now. You kind of felt was going to go this way. It's been try for try over the large majority of these 14 minutes. As this kick is deep, it's been left to bounce in no man land and will dribble into touch right on the 22. Not a bad result at all there for the Two Blues. They try to just pass it from the sideline in. It's not rugby league, unfortunately, girls. You can't do that, so just going to have to bit of line out. There's a chance for maybe the Two Blues to create a turnover here, and then could they have time to steal the game? It's thrown, but it's well marked by the University of New England as they try and spread the ball. Shot. It's going to be a penalty, though. And the ball is going to be marked up about 30 out for their own goal line. They tap and go down this right-hand edge. A nice long cut-out pass, but it's been knocked on and then towed ahead. But they're going to say it is going to be another penalty. Tackled without the football. So they're 5 away from the halfway line. The University of New England not able to hold on to this football at the moment. It's become a little bit slippery now that the pitch has become a little bit greasy as they work their way up over the halfway line. Good strong carry there, throws the ball back inside. The two Blues still have it. They flick it back. The ball eventually finds its way into touch. And has the referee called full time on this? I think he has. And it has ended 21-all. So unsure of what the rules are here, whether that's just deemed a tie and they both get their share of the spoils. Certainly doesn't look like there's any extra time being played or any extra time. So we'll assume that the two Blues and the Cubs couldn't be separated. 21-all in this Plate Cup semi-final or this Plate Cup final. And it is ended here 21 points all. So we're waiting for the Randwick Magic and also the Maroubra Magic to come out and take on the First Nations side. And we'll take a short break before they come out and bring you all the action of the Women's Cup final. Time for the main event here at Lidcombe Oval. Oh, okay. So, sorry, just being told that actually is extra time that's being played between the previous game, the Plate Cup final. So we're not quite there yet. We saw both the sides heading out for the Cup final, which is the Maroubra Magic and the First Nations side. But we actually are going to see extra time here. Unfortunately, we are completely blind because no one has told us any of the rules or whether it's first try is the winner and first point's the winner, or whether we are going to play an additional 7 minutes. Well, I'm sure we'll find out together. It is 21-all between these two sides, the two Blues and the University of New England Cubs. The kick again. They've had real problems about the University of New England. That's the third time they've kicked off and it's failed to go 10 metres. Better just to try and thump it down the field than come up with the short option. Opens the door for the Western Sydney Two Blues. At the breakdown. Now it goes back into the hands of Kayla Sorveo, who's been strong. Marching their way down to the 22. On the attack of the two Blues. 21-all. And there's been a turnover at the breakdown, and it's the University of New England that will tap and go. The wrong end of their end of the field, though, as they get over the 22. Long cut-out pass. There's some open pastures for them as she gets on the outside and sprints away downfield, up over the halfway line. 40 to go, 30 to go, inside the 22. They're not going to be able to stop her. She's going to score under the posts for the University of New England. 26 points to 21, and there it is. That is full time. So it is the final points that wins it. A lovely breakaway try, good shift early, and it is the University of New England who take out the Plate Cup final, finish third in the competition with a 26 points to 21 win in extra time. And now that that's done, it's time for the main event. As we were speaking about before, we pulled the trigger a little bit early, but it is time for the Women's Cup final in the Western Sydney Sevens. We have the First Nations side up against the Maroubra Magic as they slowly trundle and work their way onto the field. Promises to be a tantalising affair. Rain continues to tumble down as well, so ball control is going to be a huge key in this game. We saw a few of those players in the University of New England versus Western Sydney 2 Blues game draw a fair bit of ball, particularly in the second half, but we're underway, and it will be the First Nations that will kick us underway, and it barely goes 10 metres, and it's a favourable bounce for them as well, but they do knock the ball on there through Shinta Kendall, and it will be the Maroubra Magic that will collect the ball and pack the scrum down pretty much right on that 40-metre line. And of acting half they go, and it's slicing forward there is Tyre Hines. She's going to be a real key. The ball is thrown back. They show a whole lot of urgency there. The Magic eventually falling on the ball on their own 22. No score in the Western Sydney Sevens women's final here between the Maroubra Magic and the First Nations. Out of acting half they go, and there's Tyre Hines, or Tia Hines, pardon me, but they've gone without it, the Magic. They dive on it, slap the ball back. Referee said it's fine and it's play on, but meters are hard to come by for this Maroubra Magic side. As again they're pinned deep inside their 22, taken forward this time by Tegan Dimmick. Penalty given to the Magic as they try and force themselves out of trouble. Over the 40-metre line. Pushing forward, they've got some acrobatic and athletic players. And they go forward, and the Magic into the backfield. Could we have the first points of the final? She's racing towards the try line and diving over, putting the ball over the stripe. And it's the Maroubra Magic who will play for in front in this cup final. They lead by 5 points to 0. So waiting for the conversion attempt out wide. It's going to be a difficult one here for the Magic as the kick slides its way towards the goals. It's going to fade away to the left, so no goal, but it's the Maroubra Magic who play for in front here. 5 points to 0 over the First Nations women's side. So the Magic to get us back underway. It's a wet and dreary Lidcombe. It's difficult conditions, so they're not always going to see the most slick of attacking plays as the First Nations drive their way forward to 10 shy of the halfway line. Though the Magic have created a turnover here. This is Tyre Hines. She throws a dummy, almost slices her way through. They keep the ball alive. It's a nice run there by Cassie Toihiku. They're keeping the ball alive. They can't tie up the football at the moment Can this First Nation side, quick hands, and now it goes on the outside there to Eva Carbani. Carbani into the backfield. They won't stop her. Second try coming. Slides over outright and makes the score 10 points to 0. Easy stuff done. As they spread the ball quickly to the left-hand side, and Eva Carpani was able to dive her way over. And it's a handy little advantage now for this Maroubra Magic side. Again, another difficult conversions for Tyre Hines. 22 metres out, about 10 or 11 metres in from touch on this western side of the ground. She strikes it but hooks it left badly and is unable to add points to it. And 2 tries, both unconverted, but a handy 10-point buffer here for the Magic, who have been by far the best of the women's sides in this competition over this Sunday. And so the First Nations, can they find some points and can they find a try before half time? I'd love to go in the sheds at 10-5 or 10-7 down rather than 10-0. Well, not that they go into the sheds, it's only about a minute breakout in the middle of the field, but you catch the gist of what I'm trying to say as the ball's flicked out the back and picked up there by Hankia Mosby, and Mosby is going to try and break her way through, almost does, then tries to get an offload and then gets up and goes again but loses the ball. The pill just slips out as now the Magic have an opportunity to try and get around. The referee is going to say a scrum is going to pack down, no advantage given to the Magic after that error. Scrum packing down on the 40-metre line. And the Magic sign of halfway. So taking some time to pack this scrum, aren't they? It's delayed the game a little bit, and Tia Hines looking to make her way through the defensive line, but can't, and putting her back as the ball's scooped up by Montana Walters, and Montana Walters trying to slice her way through the defensive line and does for a millisecond before the defence is able to grasp her and put her to ground. They're looking dangerous, the Magic, though, aren't they? Every time they touch the football and they go straight through, puts the afterburners on, straight through the middle of the park. And underneath the sticks. It's another try for the Magic. They're looking primed in this one. 15 points to 0. 3 tries to 0 and an opportunity to go out by 17 points with the conversion attempt coming up. Tyre Hines is able to knock this one over. 2 valuable points. Half time, and it is all the Maroubra Magic. They're 7 minutes away from taking out the women's Western Sydney Rugby Sevens. They lead by 17 points to 0. 3 tries and 1 goal. They've just swarmed over the First Nations side, and it's going to take a big effort in the second half for the First Nations side to get back in a half-time. Maroubra Magic 17, First Nations 0, and we'll take a short break for half-time. Be back in a couple of minutes. Rain still tumbling here at Lidcombe Oval as we get into the final 7 minutes of the Western Sydney Rugby Sevens. Maroubra Magic 17 leading the First Nations side 0 in the final of the Women's Cup final. It's been a dominant performance by the Maroubra side. 3 tries and 1 goal in the first half, and you feel like there might be some more tries left in the reserve of the girls in pink and green. Huge effort needed from the First Nations side. They will hopefully get first use of the football in the second half as the kick travels about 15 or 20 metres on the fly, and it's marked comfortably there by Renee Nonna. And Nonna feeds the ball off to Alana Ryan, and Ryan is lunch meat for the Magic defence there as she's 35 away from her own line as they try and go through, and they almost find an opening, and then the ball has been knocked on by the First Nations side, and the ball is going to come back to the Magic. Not the start they would have wanted in this first half, and this second half, pardon me. Now goes out the back there to Montana Walters, and she looks to dance her way through the defence. High shot, another penalty here to the Magic. And slicing her way through, almost a big rangy run there as they work their way down to the 22. Open side they go to Eva Karpani. Eva Karpani breaking her way through. They're not going to be able to stop her. She's going to get another try. 2 tries for her now, and that might just knock the stuffing out of the First Nations side. 22 points to 0. Go outside a 3 converted try lead and have a conversion attempt with a chance to turn 22 points into 24. Conversion 20 metres out, 5 in from touch. Doesn't have the legs to get there. It was wide anyway, so 4 tries, just the 1 conversion, but it's the Maroubra Magic 22 leading the First Nations side 0. They have to score 4 tries, and that is very, very unlikely considering there's only about 5 minutes left in this contest. We don't have the clock in front of us, but I imagine it's round about 4.5, 5 minutes. Ball driven forward, and a rare possession here for this First Nations side as they try and spread the ball through their hands, but good defence again from the Magic is darting down that side. Good defence coming across, drags the ball back on the inside, and they're able to hold on to it, the First Nations. That was expertly done after some good cover defence by the Magic. Shinda Kendall getting in there, trying to give the side a bit of a support. At the back it goes to Alana Ryan, and Ryan with a slightly built frame trying to slide away through, but the defence has been good. Here's Kendall out of acting half, and she makes a good 20 or 30 metres, steps back against the grain, steps off the right foot again. Kendall still going off the right foot again. Could we see another one more? Throws it back on the inside. That is a beautiful team try to the First Nations team. Try awarded, and they get on the board 22 points to 5. All set up there by Shinda Kendall, though. Stepped with the right foot, bang 3 or 4 times, and then a lovely looping pass over the top to her inside runner. And they're able to score and add some respectability, get on the board. 22 plays 5. Conversion coming from Kendall. It's high, but it isn't straight enough off the upright, so no good. It remains Maroubra Magic 22 leading the First Nations 5. And kickoff goes deep there from First Nations, picked up by the Magic, and the Magic hold on to possession there. through Tyler Amiatu. 17-point lead, so back to what the lead was at half-time. Bit more pressure here from First Nations. Feeds the ball on the outside and finds Montana Walters, and Walters streaking away downfield, but collared back on the inside. The ball will eventually roll into touch, and it'll be a line-out favouring the First Nations side. So another attacking opportunity for them to prove their wares and add some much more respectability to the score. Line out to take place 40 metres away. So roughly a minute remaining in this one. Time running out. Good defence by the Magic, holding on to a 22-5 lead. There's the First Nations side not giving up, and rightfully so, driving forward. Although a turnover there by the Magic is nice run by Simone Karpani. Penalty to the Magic as well. Out go the Magic, moving themselves out across the 22. They lead by 22 points to 5. Keeps the ball alive. The Magic perhaps searching for one more try. Keeping the football alive, and good strong physical fends there from some of the Magic runners. Good strong physical defence there, dragging the Magic runner to ground, but they've been able to hold on to the ball nicely as they go forward there through Zali Hopkins, and Hopkins is up towards the halfway line. This has been a good battle between defence and attack, probably the best we've had in the game, as the Magic fall on the ball and they're deep inside their own territory now, just out in front of the 22. Leading by 22-5. Both sides fighting tooth and nail here, despite the result not being in doubt at all. Shows the love they have for the game as they thump a kick upfield, up over the halfway line as it bounces end over end inside the 40. And it will be the First Nation side that will get first to it. They tackle from behind, loses the ball, calls, and it's going to be an error, and the ball is going to come back to the Magic. And there it is. That's full time being called, and it's the Maroubra Magic who take out the Western Sydney Women's Sevens competition with a 22 points to 5 win over the First Nations side. A resounding performance. They've been the best women's side all of today, winning their 2 group games and then their quarterfinal their semi-final, and then the final as well. So a fantastic achievement by them to win by 22 points to 5. That's all we have time for in terms of the live stream. So I want to take everyone that has tuned in over the last couple of days. Big thanks to Daniel McCalmy, who did a fantastic job calling all 28 games yesterday, and also for the Bar TV production crew that did the camera work and production yesterday and also today. So great work by them. As always, my name has been Jack Clifton. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage, and it is the winners, the Maroubra Magic 22 beating the First Nations 5 to run out winners for the Women's Western Sydney Sevens.